Where do you go when you're on the edge? When there's no way to turn around, your back's against the wall again, and it's too late to turn back now.
Showtime is at 7 p.m. I like to get there to set up around 5 p.m. a couple hours earlier. It is now 2:30, so it's time to load up the car. I have a specific place, first of all, where all of my gear goes, and that's the corner of this, well, this would probably be, I guess, our dining room, but it's kind of the music gear storage room here. But I know all of my live gear is in this corner right here. I never have to worry about anything, with the exception of maybe a guitar or two that I might be taking, so I know I'll just grab that from the studio. Now, let's dive just a little bit deeper into that, because this is where you can really run into some problems. The other thing, and again, this is something that really shouldn't change. I have got compartments, special places for every piece of equipment that I have. So, for example, in this red bag, this like suitcase thing here, this is where I store all of my cables, my power cables, my mic cables, my instrument cables, anything related to that. This is where that goes. And I also, for now, this may change later, I also store my pedals in this bag. So I've got a couple of effects pedals here for vocals. I've also got my my looper pedal, the Ditto X4 that I'm using here. So I know all of that stuff goes into this bag. Now, I've got another effects unit. You guys know I have the Line 6 Pod Go. Of course, that's got its own little bag here, so it goes in its own little bag. This backpack here that we're looking at, this is where my soundboard goes. This is a Mackie, what is this, Pro FX V10, something like that. So this fortunately fits right into this little backpack. Now, I said power cables are in the other suitcase there. I actually store the power cable that goes with this specific board in the same bag, which makes sense. Now, this bag also has some little pockets here. So one of these pockets, this specific one, is where I store my wireless. I've got some wristbands that I use because you sweat up there and you don't want sweat running down into your guitar electronics. I've had that happen before. Not a good outcome. It just literally killed my guitar in the middle of a set. So yeah, anyway, so if you're playing outside or playing anywhere, really wear wristbands. That really helps a lot. But yeah, I just store my electronics in there pertaining to that, my wireless, and also that's where I put, if I'm bringing my laptop, I'll put the charger for the laptop, and I bring an iPad charger as well. So that goes in this little pocket here. Again, it's all about having little compartments where everything goes, specific places for every piece of equipment. Now, you see I've got my my bag for my speaker stands. What I like to do, and I think I shared this in another video a while back with my live gear setup, another thing I like to do is I like to pile on any other stands that I can put on to this bag, right? So it's all in one spot. So I've got my two mic stands here. My wife, she sings with me on some songs as well, and my guitar stands are on top of this bag. So I can just pick this up in one bundle, and that's all my stands in one place. Now, I've got one more bag that I'm carrying here, and this is just a bag for the tip jar. I've got a sign with the QRC code that goes to my website, all that good stuff. And we've got some things that we'll carry, such as the tripod stands, which I'm actually using one of them now to film this video for you. But we carry all that in this bag, and some other stuff that my wife will put in there as well. I talked about sweating earlier. If you're gigging in Florida or anywhere where it's warm, bring towels. Have one close to you on stage. You will sweat, especially if you're bald like me. Another important thing to have on the checklist, and this is another one of those things where it's really kind of a first time thing and you figure out how it works, and then it should remain the same after, of course, until you get more gear. But that is how everything is going to fit in your vehicle. You don't want to be, you know, an hour out from your gig or from getting to the venue to set up, only to figure out it's like, oh, how is everything gonna fit? So I've got kind of like a mid-size SUV. This is a Nissan Rogue here, and you can see everything is, maybe it's not perfect, but it works for what I need it to work for. I've got my two mains here kind of facing each other. I've got some stuff on top of that. I've got my monitor, my floor monitor, which actually I just got that, by the way. That was another, you know, larger piece of gear that I kind of had to figure out, well, how is this going to work? How's this going to fit in this little trunk back here? And then I've got my suitcase with all the cables. That's kind of a big piece of gear as well. And you see in the back, this is where I store my guitars, and I just put my stands, my bag with the stands, I put that on top of the guitars, and then I'll put the tip jar bag and all the other good stuff, I'll throw that in the back seat as well. So again, it's just one of those things, you don't want this to be a last minute thing. It's like, okay, I'm getting ready to go, we just loaded up, but stuff's just not fitting. It's just a time saver. Small, but you know, sometimes these small things can add up. For those of you gigging musicians who are playing a lot of cover songs and you don't remember the lyrics to them, kind of like me, don't forget your iPad. Now this actually goes in the tip jar bag of stuff, so it'll be going in there. But yeah, this is a valuable tool for a lot of musicians, because look, we're playing other people's songs. We're playing all these cover songs for 3 and 4 hours, and even the best of us, we're not going to always remember all the lyrics. So having this as a guide, and I know some musicians don't like to use it, so I'm not saying you have to. In my case, I have to. I have not memorized all the lyrics to all the songs that I do, and I keep adding more songs to the list. So I'd rather have a reference up there on stage than to fumble over words or just completely forget the lyrics. So that works out better for the audience. Now on the iPad note, you want to make sure that any devices that must be charged are charged before you go to the gig. You see my wireless down here, it's charging. Actually, it's all charged up now, so it's ready to go. I've got this down here in the kitchen. That's where I do a lot of work, right here in the kitchen, because it's just, you know, better to work when you've got food close by. But anyway, make sure all your devices are charged up, preferably the night before. I'll tell you, for the wireless, I charge it up, but I actually put it on the charger again the day of the gig, just to make sure. And I have the charger for the iPad as well. That's in one of my bags, so that's there in case that starts dying for whatever reason. I had to plug it in. Haven't had that issue, but again, it's always thinking about those things that could happen. If you can go ahead and just kind of be ahead of that, then, well, you're better off. As you would expect from me, I'm going to share some live footage with you from this particular gig, which was at the Forge Irish Pub in Brandon, Florida. And if anyone from the Forge, the owners included, if you guys are watching this, thank you so much for having me. I love playing there. I love the stage. Just a really cool place. If you're in the Brandon or Tampa, Florida area, this is definitely a place you'll want to check out. Real quick, make sure you're following me on my Facebook and Instagram. That's where I post my live schedule, so definitely follow me on there if you're not already. Before we get to the live footage, I just want to share a few really quick tips with you. This does not pertain to gear or organization, but actually it does pertain to organizing yourself the day of the show. So number one, and this should actually happen well before the show, several days, maybe even a week prior, is to have your set list ready, okay? I'll probably do another video on that, and I'll touch more on that. Next, let's talk about the day of the gig real quick. So one, I don't recommend eating a lot of sugar. I don't recommend that anyway, but stay away from processed foods and sugars. I mean, this is just kind of basic nutrition information, but you see here, I've just got some grilled chicken, some rice and green beans. Got a lot of mustard because I love mustard, but I eat really healthy on the day of the gig, especially because I want my food to be used as energy, not to be stored as junk, okay? So you're gonna need that energy to perform. And I stick to my regular eating schedule anyway. I'll eat like anywhere from 4 to 6 meals a day. I can go into that deeper on another video as well. Next thing is I do drink green tea with a little bit of honey the day of the gig. I just said to stay away from sugar, but I like to have the honey, the raw natural honey. This is local honey that I'll put like just a teaspoon of that into some green tea, and that helps just kind of soothe my throat, and it kind of preps my voice for that gig. Because again, you know, if you're live gigging, you're up there for anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. My average gig time is about 3 hours. hours. I also take my regular vitamins that day. I'll just share what I'm taking right now with you real quick. So I take Universal Nutrition's Animal Pack. That's been like a trusted multivitamin for bodybuilders and weight trainers for decades now. I take that. I'm also taking Animal Flex for my joints, and I'm just kind of like sharing some out of the box stuff with you right now. Hopefully this helps you. I also take alpha lipoic acid. That helps provide more oxygen to your nerves. You guys know I had some nerve damage back in May of 2020, about 7-8 months ago, and it really hindered me from playing guitar, especially standing like this. So I'm doing a lot of things now to hopefully prevent that from happening again and to kind of help build things back up. Now, pre-show, I like to have a beer. I know I've been talking about vitamins and health, and now we're introducing alcohol into the mix real quick, and we'll get to the live performance here. But I do like to have a beer, sometimes 2 beers before I go on stage. Now, on that note, this is very obvious. Guys, don't get trashed before your gig. I know some of you like to drink a lot, and hey, I'm not going to judge anybody, to each their own. I don't drink near as much these days as I did back in my early days, but don't get trashed before the show. Nobody wants to see some drunk person up there trying to play guitar and sing. It's horrible, and you probably will lose that gig as well, so don't do that. But for me, I'm just speaking for myself here, a beer, maybe 2 beers, that really does help kind of relax me, and I find I actually get up there and just do a little bit better if I've got a beer in my system. Again, that's just for me, to each their own. All right, now I'm going to share a little bit of live footage with you.
Listen to the sound of angels calling. They don't know your name. Falling once again, I cannot reach them. Crying out a ninja soul. There's a fire in your heart, passion ready to explode. Where do you go when you're on the edge? When there's no way to turn around, that's against the wall again, and it's too late to turn back now. But where do you go when you're on the edge? When there's no way to turn around, your back's against the wall again, and it's too late to turn back now.
Guys, I hope this video helps you as you prep for your live gigs. I want you guys to get out there and do this thing. If you're already doing it, keep killing it, keep pushing forward. Real quick, you notice I did have one vocal song that I shared with you in that. That's actually a new song that I just wrote last week. Like, I wrote this in about 2 or 3 writing sessions within 1 week. And I may share that entire performance of that one song if you guys want me to, so let me know in the comments. But again, that was my first time performing it. Just wanted to share a quick clip with you. Still kind of working out some details of the song, so you know, my version that I sang live for the first time the other night, that may be a little different from what I release later. And of course, you heard some instrumental stuff. I like to do that. I don't do too much of that, but I like to throw some of that in between songs, like maybe every fourth or fifth song, or maybe in the middle of a song. If I'm singing the chorus and then I want to loop that instrumentation, that rhythm, and then I'll just play a little solo over that, then I'll kill that and go back to the singing and playing. So that's just some strategies. Again, I've got a lot of content that I'm going to be making for the live gigs. You guys have expressed a lot of interest in this, so I want to give you as many tips as I possibly can to help you, because I've been experiencing so many new things doing these live gigs over this past year or so. Actually, it's been about a year and 3 months since I've been doing this. You know, I started out with just like 1 or 2 gigs a month, and now here we are, January, I had like either 5 or 6, something like that, and it just keeps growing and growing. People keep calling me back, so I'm very grateful for this, guys, and I want to share this experience with you. And of course, again, I want to help you maybe get over some of the hurdles and some of the walls that you hit when you're playing live, and just kind of help you have a much smoother process. I'm learning a lot through this process, and it's a lot of fun. So of course, you can expect more content. And don't worry, I'm not going to stop doing metal guitar videos. I'm still going to keep doing that, but I just wanted to share the live performance with you as well, because all this kind of merges together for me. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Please give this video a like, guys, and share it. If you feel like this video helped you, please share it with others. Let me know if there's other live solo gig content, specific content you want in regards to playing live or playing solo gigs, and that will give me some more ideas to, you know, to put stuff out there for you. Again, I've got a lot of content coming down the pipe for this stuff, so definitely stay tuned. Guys, thank you once again. I'll see you on the next video. Until then, keep it metal.